Hi everybody, and thank you for joining us on our Monday TNT. As I mentioned on Saturday, we're going to slightly change things from next week. The daily programs will be a little bit shorter, but we will be doing 2 or 3 sort of longer opinion pieces or big stories that occur, because not every story is equal, and whilst we sort of barrel through 6 or 7 stories each day, some stories need more weight than others. So I'm going to be making the daily show just a little bit shorter, but we're going to be introducing 2 or 3, depends on the week, depends on the news cycle, of slightly longer editorial pieces about the big stories that matter. Now we'll start that from next week, and if you think you can hear the sound of rain falling on the roof, that's because there's rain falling on the roof. Now the wet season has arrived back, and the reason we know that is because, well, this is the Andaman Sea, and we've now got the wind coming in from the southwest, and this wasn't happening since October last year. This is the annual cycle. It's very, very reliable. We also get these sort of quite different cloud patterns as the wind sweeps in from the southwest. And although we will get a little bit of rain, there will be plenty of days just like this one, which was yesterday afternoon, and this rain will clear up in the next 5 or 10 minutes, probably as we're doing the show. Anyway, let's get on with the main stories, like this story, and it's reported in KhalsotEnglish.com. Police pursue a Pakistani and Thai wife for killing Indian man in Phang Nga. So this is literally in my backyard, which I suppose sparked my interest a bit. And police have arrested a Mr. and Mrs. Yasir based on an arrest warrant, and the CIB believe that this case is shocking and impacts the country's image. Would have thought it was shocking because somebody was murdered. And the 2 suspects are allegedly involved in the murder of a Mr. Paulos, an Indian national in Takawatung district, which is just north of where I live. Police stated the victim was shot in the back of the head with a bullet exiting through his left cheek. They were charged with premeditated murder, illegal possession of firearms and ammunition, and carrying weapons in public place without permission. The police seized evidence including a CZ handgun, 9 rounds of 9mm ammunition, a white Toyota Vios, and several other related items. The investigation revealed that Mr. Paulos had arrived in Thailand back on April the 19th and stayed at a condo with the 2 suspects. And CCTV footage showed the 3 individuals travelling in a Toyota Vios heading towards Phang Nga province on May the 14th, with the Thai woman driving. Now, police speculate, and I should say that this is just speculation, it may be based on some interviews, that Mr. Paulos argued with Mr. Yasir, claiming that the Pakistani man had deceived him and taken his money to invest in a business without his consent. Apparently they then drove to the crime scene. They dragged the body and left it at the scene before fleeing to a house in Kokloi to clean the car and destroy evidence. Both suspects deny the charges, but the police are confident in their evidence. So a nasty murder there involving foreigners and a Thai. We'll follow that one through if any more information becomes available. Now, last week I did get demonetized quite a few times because YouTube, for whatever reason, just doesn't like the word Cannabis. So I'm going to have to go back to the puerile reporting where I sort of mention the word broccoli, and you'll know what I mean. Anyway, the story is from Bangkok Post, and I think it's worth mentioning. A poll: most support relisting broccoli as a narcotic. And most Thais support the plans to relist broccoli as an illegal drug, but have mixed opinions over its benefits, according to an opinion poll by NIDA. And it was held on May the 14th and 15th with 1,300 people aged 15 and over. Now, 53.7% said that broccoli is an illicit narcotic, but admitted it has medicinal benefits. Another 33.6% said it was a narcotic and had no benefits at all. 11.6% it's not an illegal drug, and 1% were just not sure. So that's some 87% of Thais who think it is an illicit narcotic. You may have your own thoughts about that, but that's from this poll anyway. Let's see if we can find out more. Asked what they think about the government's plans to relist broccoli as an illegal narcotic, the answers were 60.3% absolutely agreed, 15.3% moderately agreed, 14% absolutely disagreed, 9% moderately disagreed, nearly 1% said they didn't know or they weren't interested. I'm starting to think that I might be one of that 1% these days. Now, the Pattaya News also covered the story with a little bit of extra analysis, and concerning compensation for broccoli farmers or businesses if reclassified as an illegal narcotic, nearly 47% of respondents believed the government should not compensate anyone. 35% thought the government should compensate both the broccoli farmers and businesses, and 10% said only farmers should be compensated. Lastly, regarding their experiences with broccoli, nearly 69% of respondents reported having no experience with broccoli, 31% had some experience, but 52.5% had used it in food or drinks, and 34% had smoked or consumed it. So there you go, a NIDA poll, probably the most prolific and the most professional polling company in the country. A lot of people, when they're talking about this issue, say, let's put it to the vote, let's see what the Thai people think. Well, at least there is a slight indication what a lot of Thai people think. Now, it's a brand new weekend. It's a brand new look for the Thai PBS front page. Let's have a quick look at what they're doing. And they've got this main window up the top. As you scroll down, you can see all their other stories in different categories, with nothing unusual about that. But back to the top where you're going to see all the leading news stories, and you can scroll through them, and you've got a bit of a thumbnail underneath, and click on those. So a bit of a new, fresh look for Thai PBS World. The biggest problem I found with the website in the past was just waiting for the front page to load, but it looks like they may have fixed that as well. Now let's go to our next story in the Bangkok News, and it says Ministry clarifies school uniform exemption. Now, a story appeared last week talking about Thai school uniforms, and the story that I read gave the impression that the government was saying, hey, you don't have to wear the school uniform anymore. Apparently that's not quite what they were intending. The Education Ministry clarified yesterday that its recent letter exempts students from wearing uniforms on a case-by-case basis and did not cancel the school uniform requirement, as claimed on some social media. Apparently, back on May the 16th, the Education Minister authorised all schools to make their own decisions about whether to exempt certain students from wearing uniforms and instead opt to wear appropriate outfits. And the ministry's spokesperson said the letter's subject was exemption or relaxation of school uniform rules, and nothing in its content said the rule was cancelled. And the measure was meant to ease parents' financial burden during the back-to-school season. For example, in a family with 5 children, the parents might not be able to afford school uniforms for all of them at the same time. Now, as somebody who grew up wearing a school uniform for 12 years, I don't really have anything to compare it with, but I know pretty much from all the arguments that people use when talking about school uniforms that if one student's doing one thing, another student's another thing, it usually doesn't end up well. I'm sure you've all got your own opinions. Happy to hear them in the comments section. But the spokesperson said the false information on some social media pages widely created misunderstanding and confusion for parents who had not seen the ministry's announcement. Many thought the ministry had revoked the school uniforms for good, and they therefore wasted money for nothing. Well, what can we learn from that? Don't believe everything you read on social media, and I suppose in your particular case, just check with your school first to see what their current rule is and how they're going to interpret the minister's statement. All right, to our game of Where's the Prime Minister? Let's find out. And the Prime Minister, Srettha Thavisin, posted a message on the X application after he and his delegation were in, Bologna, and discussed with the Formula One group, the rights holder of the FIA Formula One World Championships. The Prime Minister said, I believe that Thailand has an opportunity to host the F1 race in 2027 or 2028 in Bangkok to attract both investors and tourists. We're currently studying the feasibility. He also mentioned that he met with Alexander Albon, a Thai-British driver from the Williams team, who was racing there. He hopes that Alex will inspire Thai youth who are determined to pursue a career in racing. Well, just a few points from that. Firstly, whether the F1 race will be held in Bangkok. Not quite sure. I sort of don't think it will happen. But also noting there the Thai Prime Minister himself, 6'3" or so, and the young Thai British driver looks, well, he's probably beyond 6 foot. And he also, when I was listening to him speaks with quite a broad British accent, so it looks like he was educated in Britain. Right, to our next story, we go to the Cowsod English Facebook page, and a bit more from Pita Limjareonrat. We haven't heard much from him, the leader of the Move Forward Party. What has happened to him? Well, he's a party list MP and he's, chairman of the advisory board to the leader of the Move Forward Party. He delivered a special keynote speech, Why 6 Big Bang, at the opening of the first Policy Fest event. Now, I think a lot of people would ask, why are they using English, sort of tortured English at that? Why 6 Big Bang, when it's a purely Thai event? Is this to get a bit of international coverage? Anyway, he said that the 6 Big Bang issues for Thailand, if left unaddressed, will become time bombs that the next generation will have to solve. It includes quality economic growth, learning to keep pace with the world, improving the quality of life and specific temporary agenda. I think that's been sort of lost in translation. Unlocking rural Thailand, major state reforms and fully fledged democracy. So Pita Limjareonrat coming out of the shadows. Of course, the Move Forward Party are facing dissolution with the Constitutional Court. We should hear about that in the next couple of months. In the meantime, the old Senate is now dissolved and we've got new senator elections coming up. We'll probably cover that story in more detail in one of those, special editorials that I'll do in the next couple of days. Quite a lot to take in, quite complicated. As we go to this story, and a British man is stabbed while trying to stop a fight in Patong. This is covered in cowsodenglish.com. A fight broke out between a foreigner and a group of Thai teenagers in Soi Bangla, a famous entertainment area in Patong. A British man who tried to intervene was injured by a knife on his left rib. Now, it happened at 4:30 a.m. on May the 18th. Happened in, it says Soi Bangla Street. Sort of a bit tautological, you just need soy or street, means the same thing. The altercation escalated and they pushed each other into a small alley that locals call Soi Lao. And then 1 minute later, Mr. Charlie, wearing a black t-shirt and black shorts, walked in, saw the incident, tried to stop the group. So that moment there was a commotion as they pushed out of Soi Lao. And the injured person was then stabbed and went to ask for help at a convenience store where he collapsed and was bleeding, both Thai and foreign. Good Samaritans, don't think we have to invoke the New Testament there, who witnessed the incident, quickly provided first aid and notified the authorities for assistance before rescue workers took him to hospital. Looks like a photo there of that alleyway, the Soi Lao they were referring to. The Thai girlfriend who came with him said her British boyfriend was not involved in the brawl but was an unintended victim, and police say they now know the identities of the perpetrators, believed to be a group of Thais. It's a bit of biffo there in Soi Bangla. I think we can look forward to a photo in the next few days. Hopefully everybody recovers fully, but I can see a whole lot of people lined up and their hands pushed together, a lot of apologies being offered. But hang on, what about police fighting police? Maybe you could make a sport with that. And the PatiaNews.com's reporting Cops Combat, featuring Thai cops facing off in martial arts, coming on May 28th. And Thailand will host its first ever Cops Combat martial arts contest at the Raja Damnern Stadium in Bangkok. This unique event will feature police officers from across the nation competing in a combat sports tournament. And the competition is inclusive, welcoming male and female officers of all ranks and ages. Nation Thailand's also covering this, Thailand's first Cops Combat martial arts competition. And they've even done a poster about Cops Combat. And the rare combat sports competition open to both male and female officers of any rank and age. And there will be 7 weight classes for the men between 56 and 94 kilos, and for women between 45 and 70 kilos. Now, they're going to be doing this in skimpy hot pants and topless? Well, no. The Royal Thai Police have included Cops Combat as a new sport in the 2024 Police Games to encourage police officers to improve their self-defence skills that can be used in their work and to inspire them to exercise more. And they'll be required to wear, I find this quite amusing, required to wear new patrol police uniforms with full protective gear such as head guards with transparent visors, or at least they can see what they're doing, face shields that protect their forehead, nose and chin, shin guards, dental mouth guards and groin guards. Each match has only one round of 3 minutes. Winners of the competition are decided by knockout, submission, that like a tap out, judge's decision or disqualification. So there you go. I'm sure that will be well attended, the opportunity for people to watch Thai police smashing the crap out of each other. I'm sure some people will enjoy that. Now, as the rain dissipates, we say farewell. Hopefully you're up to date with things happening in Thailand. We'll be back with another program. Please subscribe to the channel if you get a chance, and we'll see you tomorrow.